Good afternoon. We're the yellow team, and my name is Nolan Ovalle.
I'm Mike.
I'm Francesca. I'm Sharon.
And this is our presentation.
Wind is caused by the uneven heating of the Earth's atmosphere by the sun. Solar radiation hits rocks, temperature rises, heat is released, and then cools, transforming its energy into the atmosphere. Wind turbines average 328 feet tall and 20 feet deep into the ground. Wind turbines work the opposite of fans. Generator power depends on rotor-swept air, air density, wind velocity, and efficiency of the turbine. Kinetic energy results to rotational kinetic energy, which leads to the electric potential energy. Aerodynamics result to the lift and drag motion of the turbine. Wind-activated rotors and blades spins the generator and releases into an electrical output. Wind faster than 50 miles per hour stops the turbine due to limitations. Wind power as an alternative to fossil fuels is renewable, widely distributed, clean, and produces no greenhouse gases, and usually uses little land. Any effects on the environment are generally less problematic than those from other power sources. As of 2011, 83 countries are using wind power, and about 80% of European citizens support it. The pros to wind power is the wind is free, there's no pollution, doesn't need fuel, and requires low maintenance. The cons to wind energy is the turbines are expensive, they could get completely destroyed during a thunderstorm, it's not consistent, and the sound annoys people that live by it, and it can take up a lot of land. Today, more homes and companies are starting to use wind power.
On Wednesday, we learned about material science with Professor Ron. Material science engineering has many parts to it. What we focused on most was metals. There are 91 metals in the periodic table. What is a metal? They all conduct electricity. They all have luster, they're all crystalline and opaque, and lastly, they can all be deformed. Metallurgy is one of the biggest areas of material science with a lot of potential. There are many metals in the human body. Here are some of them. Silver is the most electrically conductive metal. Other good conductors are copper, aluminum, and gold. Diamond is an example of a mineral. It is a form of carbon crystallized under high pressures and temperatures. Diamonds have the same composition as the lead in your pencil, which is actually graphite. And diamonds aren't as scarce as you might think. Steel is an alloy of metals. The main ingredients are iron and carbon. To make it stainless, they add chromium. One famous stainless steel company is called Revereware, after Paul Revere, a steel maker. Next, we got some geodes and attempted to break them in order to find crystalline structures inside. After a few attempts, our rock was broken into several parts. In order to examine those crystals properly, we moved from the macro to the micro. Under the microscope, the brilliance of these crystals were magnified. For example, this one is a close-up of petrified wood trapped in the rock. We then learned about types of crystalline structures. Our team attempted to build an orthorhombic structure. We encountered difficulty due to the shortage of parts, but we fixed the problem with a new solution. Who needs building parts when you have tape?
Another method of alternative energy is solar energy. Solar energy causes electrons to produce a current, therefore creating power. In order for the protons to be received by the solar panel, it must come in contact with the sun. Michigan's optimal position is facing south in order to be exposed to as much sun as possible. This transportation occurs through wavelengths. Wavelengths can be categorized across the electromagnetic spectrum. There are only a small portion of waves that are visible to the human eye. Light waves are the only waves that humans can see. We perceive these waves as colors, red being the longest wavelength and violet being the shortest. Solar panels are black because black absorbs all colored wavelengths. Available energy from the sun is distributed over many wavelengths. Examples of solar panels consist of domestic hot water, photovoltaic, and solar heating. Photovoltaic converts sunlight into electricity, is low maintenance, and has high-tech construction. It produces a direct current. The size of a board does impact the amount of energy transferred. Inverters are needed to convert a direct current to AC, which is an alternating current that switches between positive and negative charges. It must be converted in order to use the energy. Disadvantages of solar power: very low energy production, regional complications, cost, efficiency, and weather conditions. The industry and ideas of alternative resources continue to grow. However, new methods for reusable energy have expanded around the globe. Michigan is one of the leading innovators in solar technology. We are fortunate enough to have substantial solar resources. However, in some regions where they receive little light from the sun, it is not realistic to spend the time nor money installing solar panels. Where it might be helpful to have solar panels in Michigan, it might be unproductive to do so in Alaska. As one can see, solar energy is a very reasonable and exciting method of alternative energy.
Alternative energies are exciting new sources to power our lives on. The energy source that we know today as common is chemical energy, which includes fossil fuels, oil, and natural gases. Now we can confidently say that we've heard of wind and solar energies. Still, there are more. These energy sources are thermal and hydro. Some of you may be thinking, why not just keep things simple and continue to rely on these chemical energies? They've worked for a long time. And the answer is that these fossil fuels and oils are non-renewable. Once they're gone, that's it. And as movie-like as it would be for the world to go in a frenzy when this happens, we need to get used to these energies now, those that are renewable. Then there's sustainability. This has been defined as meeting the needs today without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs, as we were taught by our Professor Bill Jackson. So the main efforts of these new energies is to be sustainable, or rather, our world to be able to hold itself over and hold itself together, even when these non-renewable sources run out. And the reality is that they will. Whereas our renewable energy sources that we rely on will rely on things that will be here forever. For when the sun goes out, we will too. And when wind stops moving, things will stop moving as well. Hydro energy is an older practice than we assume, but works all the same. A simple example of this is the Hoover Dam. This dam uses water pressure to push turbines to power the homes and businesses in Nevada and Colorado. This picture here gives an example of one of the biggest solar farms in the world. It's found in France and it's 36 acres, and it produces 26 million kilowatt hours of energy, and it powers 8,000 homes and families. The point is that we need these new and renewable energies to depend on and to conserve any part of the earth we haven't already stripped of these fuels that we're so dependent on. Thermal energy is transferred by radiation, and these are a few examples of how they would generate energy.
One man once said, "Individually we are one drop, but together we are an ocean." Coming from different places, it was initially hard to define who we were as a team. However, once we created that identity, we were unstoppable. Throughout this past week, our team worked hard together in order to achieve a common goal: to build a concrete team and work to our best ability. The relationship between team members flows two ways, and one cannot stand alone. There is an equal source of dependency. Although experience and knowledge may not always be on our side, commitment and dedication has continued to drive our team forward. Our biggest challenge we faced was when we started to build the electric cars, and we were all excited and charged up, thinking we had the best ideas spinning around in our head, but we didn't really know where to start. And that's when we figured out that all we really knew about cars is that they had wheels and you have to have a motor. However, together we worked together over our obstacles and were able to create a great car. And it turns out we have these things called gears. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they help us out a lot. And it was exciting to be able to see us all put something in together that we had no experience of before. As stated before, commitment and dedication was the fuel that drove us forward. Even when something went wrong or broke apart, we just started off where we left, and we never gave up on ourselves or each other, even when tempted. I know there were so many times when we each just wanted to walk out of the room, but I think we all put up a fair fight and really tried our best. And the biggest thing that this week has taught us is that failure is inevitable. However, the knowledge and lessons we learned only strengthened our forces. As a team, we were able to laugh at our mistakes and build upon what we had learned. We now all walk away knowing that you may not always control who you play the game with. However, what truly matters is how you play. When you can use each other's strengths to help us to be helped along a rough path, it allows for positive collaboration and inspiring opportunities. Thank you.